Morning students, welcome back to the session of social studies. I hope you are safe. Let us begin the session of social studies as we are discussing about the historical part. As we have moved to the new lesson, it was called as landlords and tenants under the British and the Nizams. Okay, before switching into the concept now, we'll recapitulate what we have discussed in the previous class, right? So in this part, this entire topic will run on the concept of the zamindari system. After zamindari, what are the changes has been take place, and how the kings used to support the zamindaris, and who introduced this. Once we'll recapitulate. So as we know, zamindars. This system was introduced by the Muslim kingdoms. So who was called as Mughals. Okay, Nana? So actually basically they are from Turkestan, Uzbekistan and Arab countries, Islamic countries they are. So they came and occupied the northern part of our country, and later they have introduced their policies which we have been discussed previously. Because just if we get it out, so just once I'll recall all the things and just we'll move to the continuation of the consequence of the topic, right? As zamindari system, so it was introduced by Mughal kings. Why Mughals introduced these zamindaris? Means there is a reason, because the entire the location or an entire places cannot be concentrated by entire kingdom, right? So the places used to distribute into different parts. So these parts have consisting of number of villages into a group. So these groups used to be handed for each and every zamindars. So for that zamindars are the head. So how they used to maintain? What kind of rights zamindars have? Zamindar, the purpose of Mughals keeping zamindari system is to collect tax. Okay. Other than this, they used to control politically. They have a power of political power. They have a power of economy, and they have a rights to look after the lands and assets. So the reason is they are answerable for the kings who appointed as a zamindars for a group of villages here. So as their continuation of their process of their job, what kind of the facilities will be provided by the king is, the king used to give a for the zamindars. So other than zamindars are the next subordinates for the kings, right? They are the next subordinates for the kings. In this part, what kind of facilities do they get by the kings? Generally, king used to give a support of army. In this army, group of soldiers, a small group of soldiers. Right, next they used to provide certain horses, cavalry's horses, right? And other than that, they used to provide houses for the zamindars. So these houses are called gadi. What is that? Gadi. This gadi word, it is as an origin from Telangana language. Telangana language. Okay, clear? So how these people were under the control of this zamindari system? Their purpose is to look after the location and the area, and have a political support on the people, economical support on the people. Their basic duty is to collect the revenue, collection of tax. How they used to collect? And we have seen now, if people they are not ready to obey the word of zamindar, so zamindars has a right to punish the people. What kind of punishments? So it's up to them, depends upon their limits. They can take any kind of viral punishments. Okay, none of this system was continuing. This is a zamindari system, and in this system they mostly concentrated on peasants. Why? Because they are having 1 or 2 acres of land. Okay, Nana? So while they are holding this land to cultivate, to till the land, they should maintain some maintenance and they have to pay some revenue for the government. If they are fails to pay the revenue, the lands, which of the peasantry lands will hand over to the zamindars. So the lands which were under the mortgage of zamindar, they are called kudu caste. Kudu caste. Here peasants have more responsibility. What is that responsibility? They have to pay the revenue. They have to look after their lands. Other than their lands, they have to concentrate more on the lands which are submitted to the zamindaris. In this, the zamindari used to give the lands in the form of rent. Okay, is the peasants are working here? No, peasants are very busy, right? If they are having more land, they cannot operate all the cultivation at a time. So for that, they will give the lands for the tenants, those who don't have lands, tenants for the cultivation. So these tenants are treated as untouchabilities in the rural areas of the village regions, as their main profession is agricultural laborers. They know only one process, cultivation, and the low category works will be handed over to those. Like this, the circle was going on. Slowly, when zamindars became busy, some of the lands are handed over to the peasantries. Slowly, zamindars have high responsibilities. They used to meet the king. They used to give the collection for the king. In return, king used to give the maintenance. So this was going in the process. And in this, the benefited people are called peasantries, who are holding 1 or 2 acres lands. Some of the lands, due to their busy schedule, they will be handed over into the. So slowly, this position of peasantry, they became landlords of that region. Landlords of that region. So entire work is operated by the landlords. Up to here we are going on, right? So this was zamindari policy which was running under the rule of Nizams, right? I mean Muslim kings. What happened? The next sequence. As we know, so Britishers hand over, right? When Britishers entered India in the period of 18th century, okay ma, how they have entered, you know, they have set up their business trading center. Once upon a time, they were outside, seas, overs, the trade used to done on overseas. Slowly, with the influence of some kings and kingdoms, allowed these Britishers to enter inside of the country. At that time, who are there? When Britishers entered in India, there was Nizams, I mean Mughals, I mean Muslim kingdoms. Muslim. So slowly these Britishers joined the hands of these Nizam people, and they started investing their money in the trade. So in this part, some of the places were handed over to the Britishers. So from this concept, now we are going to switch into the main concept, that is called after handovering. After handovering some of the areas under the British rule, what kind of involvement made by the Britishers, where they have started and where they have ended, now we are going to study here. After handovering the lands towards Britishers, some of the regions, the Britishers understand the wealthy resources of our country, the main weapon of our country. The India is very famous in the process of agriculture. They have understand. Why? Because as the company means Britishers under government, it's called as company. As the company need certain goods. What are those? For example, the raw materials which are available in our country, they used to take those raw material, they used to take those crops, they used to take all the production of our, and they used to export. They used to export their nation like England, etc. European countries, where they have our goods and resources, where it has more demand in other countries. These Britishers used to export all the things. In return, they used to give their goods and resources. So Britishers introduced new policies. What kind of policies? Right, as we are continuing with the Zamindari system, right? Okay, when Britishers entered, they have observed our policies. They have also joined with the Zamindars. They continued their policies. They have observed the period of time, the span of time, how the work was going on. In this part, they have understand. So what kind of crops we are sowing here in our country, what kind of crops we are sowing, all these things were slowly they have removed this Zamindari system and they highlighted their policies. They started dominating our regions under them. That means, so there was a lot of interaction between Britishers as well as our farmers. That means here Britishers interaction with the peasants. Who are peasants and tenants? Okay, Nana? Why? Because the work, maximum work was happening made by these people. So British thought that if we interact directly, we can get the production of agriculture directly in our hands. Better we can sell it for the other countries. But what is the role of Zamindars? Zamindar remained as a puppeteer. Why? Because their work is to collect the tax. How they have to collect? What are the terms and conditions which are applied by the Britishers? That has to be followed by the Zamindars. In this case, Zamindars were failed. How they were failed, I will just explain now. Now here, actually we used to cultivate the food crops. Food, as we are cultivating more food grains, food crops in our country. Britishers has studied our land and soil. They have seen our land and soil, and they thought that other than food crops, so India land is very suitable to cultivate cash crops also. Okay, Nana? We can cultivate cash crops also. Okay. In this part, British has did a much favor to us. That means the Britishers made a lot of favor to the farmers. How? That means they encouraged farmers, they invested a lot of money, as these cash crops are very demand for the British company, that is called East India Company. Why? Because they can export all the goods which we are getting. So they thought that there is a lot of demand for the cash crops. If we get a good cash crops in a conditioned way, as the soil land is very suitable, as the climatic conditions also very suitable, favorable conditions, so we can earn a lot of money, and the revenue was continue under the hold of Zamindari as on the norms of Britishers. They thought that they started investing, forcing our farmers to cultivate cash crops. In this way, the farmers were encouraged. Why they were encouraged means, here for the farming purpose, Britishers, for the raw materials, the investment completely was from the hands of Britishers, and the farming has been started. In this way, they force us to cultivate the cash crops. Force us to cultivate the cash crops. What kind of cash crops? These cash crops has a lot of demand in other countries. What are those? Shall we have a look? First one is cotton. Okay, Rana? Second one is, as these are the textile related, indigo. Third one is sugarcane. Fourth one is sugarcane, and also fourth one is wheat. So these are some commercial crops which forced our Indians by the government of Britishers. The company forced us to cultivate these crops. Okay, so for to cultivate these, East India Company began to invest a lot of money, right? For example, the farmer wants to cultivate. For example, he wants to cultivate. If directly he can get into the land and he has the capacity to cultivate, it's so difficult because he need money to purchase raw material, right? So how? For that, so to give that investment, East India Company, British officials has invested the money, lot of money. So in that, the farmers were a little bit safe there because previously they used to invest their own money. Instead of that, when Britishers introduced policies, so the Britishers involved in the investments and the cropping conditions. So what happened next? Okay, and up to here, when East India was launched, as they have more demands for the crops which are called commercial crops, okay, so they began to cultivate these commercial crops. So this was happened for how many years? For 2 decades. For 2 decades, so our Indian farmers are busy, okay, in producing of cash crops. So here what happened? When continuous production and source of cash crops, the land and soil was lost it lost its sense. That means cash crops for a time being we can cultivate, but it's not a continuous process. For this, the land and soil was damaged, and here farmers started struggling to cultivate here. As this have been seen here, one side Zamindar is asking the revenue, one side British officials investing, of course, but it's not used. There is a lot of shortage for the food crops. Of course, it's not a matter, but so the situation was continued for 2 decades. Here, peasantries are facing a lot of problem. Under them, the maintenance of tenants was so difficult. Britishers used to give horrible policies, of course, which is very better condition than the Zamindaris. One side Zamindari is collecting the revenue. For this, the peasants were very viral. They got angry, they got irritated. So to stabilize all the conditions in different ways, it was so difficult to manage. At that time, what happened? So the Britishers got an idea. The government has created a new system. It was called, the company introduced the permanent settlement system. Permanent settlement system. It was launched by the Britishers. So this was the first Britishers policy other than the Zamindari government. Okay, Nana? Other than the Mughal government or a Muslim kingdom government, the Britishers introduced the permanent settlement in the year 1793. In the period of 1793. After introducing the permanent settlement, the peasants are happy somewhat. They are happy somewhat. Why? So this permanent settlement system was introduced by Mr. British Governor General Cornwallis. Cornwallis. Okay, Nana? So he is a British government governor general who was a officer for land revenue and agriculture system and all those things. He has introduced this permanent settlement system in the period of 1793. What happened? So slowly the Britishers, to maintain all these things, the British thought that it was so burden for them. They have thought that there should be some different ideology has to be changed here. So the permanent settlement system has been given, but of course previously Britishers, Zamindars, then peasants. This was the interaction. Slowly when permanent settlement system has given, to cut the games of Zamindari collection, slowly Britishers has hidden. So even though they are away, they have introduced the permanent settlement system. Permanent settlement. So what is the use? Is there any advantage here? Of course, it's not more favorable, but it is a little bit advantage, because previously the Zamindar used to collect a lot of revenue as their wish. They used to harass the people, they used to kill the people, they used to submit their lands. It was so horrible. When permanent settlement was introduced, here everything was, the system was, of course the revenue should be collected by Zamindars. Of course it was a system, it is a hereditary system which is followed by them, but conditions applied. For example, 100% of revenue has to be collected. For example, in this 100% of revenue, the Zamindar wants to collect revenue from the peasants and ordinary peasants and the farmers. In this 90% money has to be handed over to the British government. Okay, Nana, in the permanent settlement, what is the major the change here? In the permanent settlement system, the revenue collection was handed over to Zamindar. Of course it is handed over, but conditions applied by the rules of, okay, Nana, by the rules of Britishers. Exactly. Why? British has given a policy, in the 100% of revenue, 90% has to be sent to the government, and remaining 10% revenue, they can collect as a service charges. So in this, what is the advantage for us means, of course, without deviation of the British government policies, the terms and policies which they have applied, based on that only Zamindars has to be collect the revenue. Okay, in this 10%, it is not favorable for the Zamindars. That means complete money they have to hand over. The 10% also service charges they are charging. That is also for who? Britishers only, to maintain the army and all those things. Previously the Nizams used to support in the form of army and the maintenance for the Zamindars, but here it was so difficult to maintain the Britishers. Here this was the 90% has to hand over, 10% has to hand over. Zamindars felt it was so difficult to get benefit for themselves. They created, they started harassing the farmers. Actually, the farmers, those who are cultivating, has to pay 90% enough. But here the Zamindars, without giving information for the Britishers, they used to collect more than 100%. Here what is the drawback? Farmer, if have the capacity, he can hand over a lot of money. He can, if he has the capacity to pay the revenue, he can. but if he don't have capacity, he has to surrender the lands to under the government. Okay, Nana? So when they were surrender the lands, if they are not obeying these the policies which were introduced by the Britishers, in this there was a miscommunication. What is that? Zamindars charging more revenue than the operated policies by the British. So it was so difficult, some of the farmers are failed to pay, and for these farmers the Zamindars has given an option without letting the secret to go outside and reach the Britishers. The Zamindars provided those who lost their, for example, they want to pay revenue, crop was failed. What is the situation? For them, Zamindars provided the facility called money lenders. So they used to take money as a credit and they used to pay for the Zamindars. Okay, Nana? They used to pay for the Zamindars. So what happened? The system was continuous perfectly for a long time. No, it was failed, because without giving information for the British government, the Zamindars used to collect more money. Further, the peasantries and farmers felt a lot of burden. Some of them committed suicides. Some of them, for a prestigious issue, they went for a money lenders in the form of credit. This credit also, the percentage of the interest is 10%, which they can't repay. Taking and handovering, taking and paying the money, but there is no relaxation, but there is no scope to repay there. Then what happened? Soon, so due to these situations, it was continued for a long period of time. Due to these situations, most of the crop was failed. At that time, Britishers has understand the demand. Britishers has understand the demand of the crop, and they began enter into the situations. Okay, so the crop failed. It was continuing for a long period of time, of course, but it was not successful. Britishers were failed to get the production of cash crops. So this was the situation went on. What about the peasants and tenants? So those who are failed to pay the revenue for the government. What is the situation for them? If they are failed to pay the revenue, what is the situation? That means they have to surrender their lands, and also how much money they have to repay for that value of the work. They have to work under the Zamindaris and Britishers' lands for a long period of time. This was continuous for generations and generations. For example, if our grandpa is failed to pay the revenue in time, for example, he is not ready to bear that revenue, the charges. Grandpa was died, and if the son is there, he has to work on their fields for a period of time. Son also can't repay it. In between, he has passed away. Grandson has to continue. So this was generations, means hereditary onwards. Those were debits, those were credit and can't clear the money in time. They have to work on their fields as per the situation demands. After seeing such situations, it was so difficult here. This was continuous till 19th century. It was continued till 19th century. Okay, Nana? So in 19th century, what happened? There was another important policy was introduced by the Britishers. Here, Britishers thought that our people are not listening the words of Britishers and they are not supporting. So here, in 19th century, they introduced Raitu. The new policy, it is called Raituvari system. You think this policy is favorable for the farmers? Of course, somewhat it is favorable. here what happened? The Britishers and the Nizams divided the lands, Britishers lands and Nizam lands. They have divided their lands separately, and they have introduced the government policies. Some lands Britishers plus Nizams, Muslim governments, Mughal governments, Britishers plus Nizams were taken the authority of the lands, right? They have segregated the lands and they started making control of their lands, and this period was continued. That means here the Britishers used to give the policies and ideas, and the Nizams continued the rule. What happened? Both Britishers plus Nizams used to formulate some policies which was favorable and non-favorable policies for the farmers, which they can't repay, which they can't provide the food production, agricultural production in time. It is not only operated on the farming, agricultural sector, it is applied for all the areas. Okay, some of the areas of land hand over to Britishers and both government when involves. Imagine how the rules and regulations were. The people are happy with the policies, what kind of maintenance they have to do, and there are some revolutionary fighters started fighting against this British government and Nizam government, and some of the landlords, those were kind hearted, they distributed their lands for the poor people. Here, to maintain the lands, peasants felt very bad. On them zemindars, it was so difficult for the zemindars to collect the revenue, as the both governments involved in the ruling, they increased the charges which they can't pay. Here, by this situation, the most affected person is first zemindar. That impact on peasants, that reflected on tenants. Okay, Nana? So, if the burden increases as heavy, they can't furnish their works in time, and they can't provide the production in time, as they demanded to cultivate the cash crops more, food crops less part. Okay, when we are cultivating, or they are favoring us? No. For their export, for their selfishness to export these goods to their countries, okay, for their citizens, selling for a cheap price, their goods getting here and selling for us very high cost. So even Britishers, imagine, they didn't left salt also in our areas, spices, salts and all those things. After this, who are those great zemindars, kind hearted? What are the revolutions started against these Britishers and Nizam government and their policies? All these things will be switching into the next topic, students. I hope you have understand up to here most important topics. You just please stay tuned with me whenever the class is. Just if you get any doubts, you can just call me, right? Or just text a message to me. Any doubts you can recording, I'll just respond in time. Thank you. Have a nice day.